Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. Welcome to the show. What was that? God, was that no, LTO? Not LTO. What was the, not Earth, Wind, and Fire, but the electric something. Don't worry about it.
ELO?
ELO. There it is.
Electric Lights
ELO.
Orchestra.
Yeah.
Travis, are you proud of me?
I am.
Nailed it.
Yep.
Way to go, buddy.
Thank you.
And
We didn't even
everybody.
talk about that.
Do what?
So we didn't even talk about that.
No.
I was unprepared. That's right.
You nailed it. All right, let's see. We got a lot of folks. We are at 2:01, so maybe we'll go ahead and get started. Wanted to say thank you very much to everybody who came. Also wanted to apologize for those who were. Make sure everybody's on mute if you're not. Make sure to mute yourself. So wanted to say thank you to everybody who's here. Wanted to apologize for how we ended the last one, for those who were here for that one. We cut a little short. It was maybe somebody that's learning Zoom a little bit, one that might be shaking her head wearing glasses. She also has some support to her right now. You can kind of see the younger daughter there. So whole idea of Tug Time, beside the obvious joke of the name, is that we wanted to be in front of you guys, A, see you. We really appreciate seeing you guys, but then B, also just to kind of give a little bit of information and hopefully brighten someone's day or make you smile or just to make people feel connected in this community that we have. So Jeff is going to start off with a joke and then we'll get started thereafter. Jeffrey.
Hey, thanks. I'm actually the designated joke teller in this case. No, pinch joke teller. So this is the joke that Danielle had ready for us at the end of the food prep call from last Thursday. And the question is, do you know what it takes or how to avoid crying when cutting an onion? And her answer, I told her I would deliver this perfectly. Number one, always use the right piece of Nemco equipment. And number two, the key is to not get emotionally attached. Bam, delivered. Anyway, we do want to say thank you guys for, Dan didn't like that, by the way. He shook his head. We want to say thank you so much for joining us, as always. This has been like a very cool thing for us, as Tug just said, to see your faces. We want them to be short and sweet, full of information, but also a lot of fun. And you guys have made a lot of fun for us. So thank you so much. Back to you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So for those who are new, thank you for coming as well as obviously everybody before. Just to give you kind of a quick rundown again, we are taking attendance, and everybody that is here, we're kind of tabulating up our attendance record, and the top 5 or so we'll put in a drawing for the top how many ever, and you have a chance to win a $100 gift card. Each one of these Tug Times, we also have a question at the end, and the first to respond, and I'll give you the address now that you can write down, is tugtime@MillerEquip. It's an email.com, so tugtime@MillerEquip.com. The first person that answers correctly will get a $50 gift card, and we like to try to do local as best we can, just to try to support and give a little cash flow to the local small businesses. So boy, we got a background. Who's Jeffrey? Mute yourself. There. That's better. Isn't that better? All right. So, wait. Yeah. Shake your head, Dixie. Tell Jeff that he isn't a thing. Good. So what we're doing is kind of interviewing. Today we have Advanced Tabco. So I wanted to introduce you guys to Mr. Ron. Ron, would you like to say hello and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hey everybody, my name's Ron. Nice to see you all. I'm working from home here in New York. I've been with Advanced Tabco for about 14 years. It's part family business. So it's kind of all I know. I spent a little time as a rep in Florida before I worked in the New York headquarters, and that's it in a nutshell.
Excellent. Chad, I like your background. That looks nice. How's your quarantine going, Ron?
I'm getting used to it. I was a little bit under the weather before we had to quarantine, so this is 5 weeks for me. And as a company, we've been working, at least in our New York office, from home for about 4 weeks. You can probably hear my kids screaming outside the door right now. Got a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old, and the biggest adjustment has been homeschooling.
Yeah. While trying to juggle working, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
So we talked a little about your background and working kids. How are things going at the factory?
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know, we're staying afloat. We've been fortunate, to my knowledge. We have a lot of employees, a lot of whom I've never met. So to my knowledge, nobody's been sick. In terms of, are you asking more personal, or how's business?
No, just, yeah, how are things going? You know, like usually I'll also ask, how are things at the factory as far as Advanced Tabco goes a couple of months ago, a month ago, whatever, and what do we see in the future, 2, 3, 5, 8 months from now?
Sure. So February was pretty flat for us. March, we were down just a couple points, but this month we've really seen a downshift in business. I think March, we were still working on some projects that were already out there.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've had a bunch of project delays and a big increase in value engineering opportunities, though, obviously. So there's still business there. And then in terms of the future, I'd love to be a fortune teller. I think, you know, summer is normally our crazy busy time. So I don't expect it to be as crazy as it normally is. And then hopefully by Q4, we're back up and running at full speed. I'm curious to see, you know, when all the quarantine ends, if people are going to rush out and do things in public, or if people are still going to be a little hesitant to go out in big crowds and stuff like that. So we'll see.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. So Chris, can you go ahead and pull up the little pictures we have? So most people on this probably know Advanced Tabco. They know Advanced Tabco for the catalog items, right? For the most part, right? The hand sinks, 3-compartment sinks, things like that. We really appreciate all the support with those. And if we have any questions on those, we can definitely ask that at the end, but we're going to try to kind of talk about some things that you may not know as well. So we have a couple of pictures. We're also going to possibly talk about, or probably will, so maybe some virus-specific items that we've had some requests for. But can you kind of take us through this next? Sorry. Can you go to the next slide, please, Chris? There. We're going to kind of talk about custom pieces. So can you kind of take us through some of these, and we don't have to spend too long, but just some of the points that most people may not really think of when they think of Advance.
Sure. Like you mentioned, Tug, a lot of the perception still with Advanced Tabco is back of the house, model A, B, or C out of the catalog. We have about 9,000 different models in our catalog in auto quotes. But the fastest growing segment of our business by far is custom fab, to the tune that we've opened up 2 new factories in the last 3 years just to support that growth. One in Mississippi, which is our second there, and another one in Kaufman, Texas, which is our second there. So we have one building doing standard and slightly modified catalog items, and then the other building doing way more custom stuff like you see in that picture, like serving lines and tables and food shields and things like that.
Can you go to the next one, Chris? Keep going, Ron.
Sure. So the process kind of starts with our CAD and estimating department. Like you see here, their goal is to get quotes and then drawings out in 2 to 3 days each. We've expanded our Revit capabilities, and we continue to hire more and more people in the CAD and estimating department to help keep lead times down and turn things around. In the process, you can send us anything. That's one of the better hand sketches we've received. We'll obviously turn it into a CAD drawing and then turn it into the real thing. So that's kind of an odd-shaped 3-comp sink where the walls were on a crazy angle. We had to wrap around it.
That's pretty nice looking. What do we got here?
So this is a custom enclosed base with a bunch of different modifications. You can see step down heights for blenders. We actually made this for Godiva chocolate. And you can see the grommet holes for outlets and different cup and napkin dispensers built in, the wrapped side splash on the hand washing sink. The way we go about this is we would start with the base cabinet, and then we have a different model number that usually starts with TA for table accessory to add the drawers or the cutouts or the step down heights or the custom high backsplash and side splash, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
So we're doing things like this all day, every day now. And again, the perception is sometimes people don't think of Advanced Tabco for this, and we're hoping that you do.
Yeah. Especially since they're making a lot of this here in Texas, right?
That's right.
Go Texas.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's some of those TAs you were just talking about. Here's another one. What do we got here?
Yeah, we're doing more and more schools, and we're seeing that the schools either want to promote nutritious eating like you see on the picture on the right, or school spirit like you see on the picture on the left with the use of vinyl graphics. Those were both designed in-house. And the transition, along with doing the front of the house serving lines, whether it's a solid top that's extended like you see the one on the left, or a tray slide like the one on the right, is the food shields. Sneeze guards, breath guards, whatever you want to call them. We've come a long way with these. We have a patent on our sleek shields, which is the ones you see there. I don't know where it went.
Chris is moving it, I think. Oop, now we gotta stop sharing. We'll see.
Anyway, so our food shields, we did get a patent on them. We have full service and self-service models available in every configuration you can think of. And we just came out with our multi-use food shield, which is patent pending. It's actually 2 pieces of glass in the front. So when you're in full service mode, you can actually fold the glass up and it becomes a self-serve shield. And you can literally change from full serve to self-service in less than 10 seconds with one person and no tools. We've had we gained a lot of traction with those. And it's a new product that just came out last year for us, that multi-use shield.
Right. That's cool. Chris, there we are.
That's a couple
there's some
different
of the,
styles of our
breath
food
guards.
shields.
Yep.
One thing to point out is that you'll notice we don't do the custom mill work and the solid surface tops like that. So that's a food shield that we built that went on somebody else's mill work. And that's probably about 70% of the shields that we sell are going on equipment made by others.
But our price point versus some of the main competitors out there.
Sure, like a BSI who
Mhm.
sued us when we came out and we won and got a patent. We're price competitive, and we're in most of the dealers' buying groups too, so they have that advantage. And I think they'd like to work with us. We've seen a lot of success on design build dealers who are doing their own projects, and we're hoping to get some love from the consultants on it too. This is
Perfect.
kind of an example of a collaborative piece that we worked on with an end user. This was in the state of Georgia. It's a custom breakfast cart that we made. There was federal grant money available, and studies showed, I won't spend too much time on it, but kids who eat breakfast perform better and a lot of different health advantages. And although the school cafeteria could serve food, the kids wouldn't take the time to go to the cafeteria. They'd rather hang out with their friends. So we designed and worked with the director for one of the largest counties in Georgia and designed this breakfast cart that you see here, which was their design to put in busy corridors so the kids could just grab hot or cold food on their way walking past. And what's kind of unique about this is that sign in the front is magnetic, so it's removable. So if you wanted to dual purpose the cart for PTA meetings or take it to the school football game or whatever the case, you could easily change the graphics for minimal cost. And the other unique feature about it is everything's modular. It's kind of hard to see, but to the right and the left of the magnets, as well as all 4 sides, there's kind of pre-drilled holes there. So we built this thing very sturdy. The director asked for that push handle that you see on the left, but in all reality, they're pushing it from the posts that go up, the uprights. So they've already asked us for pricing to switch out the push handles on all of their schools for a drop-down shelf so they could expand their surface area. And it would be as easy as just unscrewing it and putting in the new shelf because it's all pre-drilled. So we're waiting on funding for that. Obviously, everything's at a standstill right now, but it's that easy to go ahead and make a switch like that. So we did create a model number for that. It's in our catalog and auto quotes, but anything you can design, we'll work with you to come up with and bring it to reality.
Perfect. Perfect. A couple of quick things. What were those serving lines we saw that had the fresh fruits and then the Pride, school mascot Pride?
Mhm.
Where were those from?
Those were
Those
both in the state of Alabama. Our reps there do really well with the school designers, and we've had a lot of experience, a lot of successes there.
Perfect. Chris, can you go to the next one? That's one point I also wanted to point out on the next slide. There we are. Oop, go back. There we go. I wanted to point out.
We have a factory in Georgia and both of our factories in Kaufman are UL approved shops, so we can install buyouts, whether it's from Hatco or you're buying our own drop-ins like you see there. You can send us heat lamps and we'll install them, or we can just make provisions to put them on in the field and we can wire everything fully to a load center, LED lights, whatever you need.
Perfect. That's exactly what we wanted to point out. So we were kind of talking about the breakfast cart. We were talking about some of the custom pieces that we've done. What are some of the things you've seen either an increase in demand for in this time, or what are possible products that people have asked you to look at, especially in relation to COVID-19?
Sure. Hand washing sinks, obviously. We've had some very large quantity orders and even larger quote requests that are still out, specifically hands-free, touch-free hand washing, whether it's an electronic faucet or the more economical way would be a knee valve or a foot pedal. So we've seen a big increase in that. Food shields also, we're not making like the point of sale barriers that you're seeing popping up in all those stores right now. We're just, our supplier for the plastic material is making face masks, so we weren't able to get those out in a timely manner. But there was an FCSI happy hour that recently took place, and our vice president sat in on that, and he said they're seeing an uptick in probably the need for traditional food shields once everything goes back to normal. Food safety and breath guards are going to be big, so we have a full line of those, as I mentioned.
Perfect.
Of course, electronic faucets, we sell those on their own and everything. So.
I'll tell you, we have one of the knee faucet, as it were, right? And Jeff loves it. I love it. Loves it? Jeff loves it. Yes, and I love it. I think in the beginning we were kind of like, it's neat, and then just the functionality of it really has endeared itself to us. Am I right, Jeffrey?
I walk past that other hand sink every single time to just be able to lean into it, wash my hands, and go. Yeah, and I wash my hands for 20 seconds plus every single time.
I should, absolutely. Smart.
Happy birthday 2 times. All right, I'm out.
All right, so I think that brings us to some questions for Ron and or myself, but really Ron. So if you have any questions, we can do them on the chat side, or we can obviously also do it if you want to pipe up. So do we have any questions?
Hey, Doug, same thing I had last week on, is there art ready pieces for the COVID-19 or the virus protection, like the shields and the sinks?
I don't know if we have, I'll let Ron answer.
I didn't hear the beginning. Are there pieces that are ready, like quick ship, some of the items I discussed?
No, sorry, more so just the art ready so I can post them on our website.
Yes.
Where would we get that?
We have made PDFs for our hand sinks and for food
Okay,
shields.
great. If I could get them from you, I'll send an email or whatever works, and we can use them. Appreciate that.
Doug, will you just follow up with me on that?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Walt. Let's see. Do we have any questions?
I think Dan had a comment on the food shields as well.
Yeah, actually, Advanced Tabco is great about posting up items on YouTube, and some really good videos up there that you can check out. There's a good one of the new food shield where it actually shows it folding in half.
Cool.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay.
And, you know, if we have any drinker fans out there, they also do bar equipment.
We do. Portable bars actually have been a huge, huge seller for us. They've doubled in sales every year for the last 6 years, and they're just one of those things. If you get it out in front of end users, they find the need for it. Not so much right now, but in a couple months, hopefully.
Any questions? You guys just want to hear all the interesting facts again, don't you? That's what it is. All right. Well, we're going to do a little learning, a little history. I don't know about you guys, but I enjoy history. Some people find it really boring, but I like it. So first, there is still a person that is alive that is receiving benefits from the Civil War. Her name is Irene Triplett. She is 89 years old. and is the granddaughter of, or excuse me, the daughter of Moses Triplett, who he fathered, sired, whatever you want to call it, when he was 84 years old. So this is the daughter of a Civil War veteran. He was 16 during the Civil War. She is still receiving VA, I think it's like $73 a month, but still, there's still somebody, how many ever, 100 and almost 50 years later, still receiving Civil War benefits. The last one is going to be about our 10th president, John Tyler, for those who didn't just come up with the name right off the top of your head, because I wouldn't have, but our 10th president had 15 children, had 7 with his first wife and 8 with his second wife. His second wife, of the 8 kids with the second wife, 2 are still alive. Or grandchildren, sorry, grandchildren of him are still alive. That would have been really crazy. So John Tyler was born in 1790. He died in, what was that, 1930 or so, I believe. His grandchildren that are alive were born in 1924, 1928. John Tyler was a sitting president from 1841 to 1845. So this is pre-Civil War. This is pre-Texas even, technically. From when he left. So Texas was not quite Texas yet, even though they're going to be. So I thought that was pretty cool. We have 2 grandchildren of a president who was born when the country was pretty much started during Washington's first term, somewhere around there. And then obviously somebody still getting Civil War benefits. Cool.
You might call that guy a stud, huh?
15 kids, and he was what, 80 something?
You're welcome.
87, I think, or 83 when he had the
welcome.
last child in 1928.
I'm bookending this thing with awesome jokes. Yep. All right.
Yeah, clearly. All right, so the gift card question. If we don't have any other questions for Ron, Chris has started sharing screen. Oh, there it is. tugtime@millerequip.com. Ready. So the question today is, Advanced Tabco does custom pieces. Can you name 2 of the places talked about during today of custom pieces that custom pieces have gone in? We named one kind of chainy thing and maybe some schools. So that is the question. All right. I believe that that brings us to the end of today. We really, really appreciate you guys spending time with us. We want to obviously keep it short. We have another one of these on Thursday at 2 o'clock. But Ron, thank you very much for your time, and everybody else, thank you, thank you. Feel free to reach out to any of us about any questions you have on this.
Thanks, sir. I see some answers in the chat.
Well, you need to get it to my email. The chat don't count. Email. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
We'll see you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Doug.
Bye.